Hi, I'm Melissa Bojorquez, and I am here to explain to you the Community College Access and Equity Initiative that is being implemented in all the community colleges statewide, and it's supposed to be a revolutionary idea that will improve the educational system for the better. So, according to the Huffington Post, issues of equality and opportunity will help define these upcoming elections. Also, according to U.S. News, that education was the third most Googled subject from June 23rd to June 29th. These two factors make clear of what Americans expect from presidential candidates. We are expecting an agenda that will reduce poverty and increase opportunity. California's Governor Jerry Brown, the Chancellor's office, and just in general the community college educational system deeply understands the need for new programs that promote equality. The Community College Access and Equity initiative was born from this realization, and it is expected to increase success rates for all diverse populations seeking education. The Community College Access and Equity Initiative is an initiative that promotes institutional change in community colleges in order to better support the most vulnerable students in their educational journey to success. I have worked for Sierra Community College for over 5 years. During that time, I have worked for two departments, two student services departments, admissions and records, and financial aid. During that time, I have also participated in numerous projects related to student success, and I have also worked with special populations and minorities. So I have a deep understanding of what it takes for a student to succeed in the educational system. So today I will be defining equity. Also, I will be talking about the reasoning behind the initiative, why this was created. Also, I will be talking about the history of equity initiatives and just give you some background on it. And lastly, I will be addressing some of the elements of the program or initiative. Okay, so first I will be defining equity and I will also be talking about the reasoning behind the equity initiative. So, in order to truly understand the purpose of this equity initiative, we need to differentiate between equality and equity. As we can see on this image, the left side represents equality, which is about sameness. It promotes fairness and justice by giving everyone the same thing. However, equality can only work if everyone starts from the same place. On the other hand, equity is about fairness. It is about making sure people get access to the same opportunities. Sometimes our differences and or history can create barriers to participation. This means that we must first ensure equity before we can enjoy equality. According to the Faculty Association of California Community Colleges, California leads the nation in demographic diversity and socioeconomic change, pointing the way to a future that eventually all states will share. And the state is rapidly becoming more diverse every day. So, among the state segments of higher education, the California community colleges are the most diverse, as with a student population composed of 38.3% of Hispanics, 30.2% of white, 11.5% of Asian, and 7.2 Afro American, and 3.2% of all students identifying as two or more races. This is a crucial piece of information because it does show us the um, reason why this initiative was seen as needed. So now that I have covered the reasoning behind the initiative and the definition of equity, I want to move on to giving you some background and some history on equity initiatives. So even though equity initiatives are getting a lot more attention than they used to get now, since Governor Jerry Brown passed the funding for it in 2014, the equity requirements have been around for more than 2 decades. So before it was not something mandatory, and also there was no funding allocated to it. So a lot of colleges did not have the funds, and it didn't have any incentives to pursue this on their own until 1996, when it actually became part of Title V. So it actually became a requirement in order to receive funding from the state. After that, when the 2008 2009 depression hit the system really hard, there were a lot of budget cuts. So the equity initiatives were just put in back burner until things got better. And that's when in 2014, Governor Jerry Brown decided to allocate a lot of the funds for this project. And as of now, he has allocated 155 million dollars to this project. So now that I have given you some background information on the history of equity initiatives, now I would like to cover the more specific details and elements of this program. So this initiative expects to put in place a lot of different changes at different access points of the educational system while constantly assessing progress. So this is a very important element of this program. Community colleges are required to report to the state and even make public their progress and showing how they are closing those achievement gaps. Also, the funding for this program comes with a lot of restrictions. There's only certain expenditures and activities that are eligible for funding. So community colleges are having to work around that and being very careful how they implement new programs. So I wanted to go over a few expenditures and activities that are covered by the current guidelines. And some of those are, so the first one is outreach to underrepresented student groups and communities. So outreach is being increased. Student equity related research and evaluation. So all that reporting is actually being sponsored by by the state government. Providing embedded tutoring, counseling support, and learning communities and other instructional support services. And finally, even identifying possible wraparound services are also being covered. So, wraparound services are other services that can be provided to the students that are not strictly educational, such as food, shelter, professional, or mental health counseling. Health services and etc. Anything else that they might need in order to succeed are also being covered by these guidelines. In conclusion, this initiative was created based on the notion that not one size fits all. Also, the California Community College system has realized that in order to ensure equal access of opportunity, the student services need to be tailored to the specific student populations. So today I have covered the reasoning behind this initiative. I have also given you some background information on the history of equity initiatives, and I have covered some specific elements of this program. So it is important to keep in mind that even though this initiative is based in California and is being implemented here, it actually applies to the whole country. Because after all, our educational institutions are the place where non traditional students are able to obtain a ticket to the middle class. Thank you.